All right then, before we get started, don't forget, new players can go to this website and enter this room code to join the game at any time. Let's go! You're going to see 7 crazy facts pulled from the following fact categories. South Carolina never declared a winner in their 1884 gubernatorial race. The Save a Cloud Foundation donates $3 million a year to cloud research. Use your device to pick whether you think the fact is true or a lie. Dick Tracy was originally named Plainclothes Tracy. A rare black watermelon sold at auction for $6,100. A city in Ecuador elected a brand of foot powder as its mayor. The Smiths broke up after Johnny Marr spit in Morrissey's mouth on stage in 1987. Picasso also had a pink period. And here's your score at the end of round 1. Here are your new fact categories. The Genie bottle used on I Dream of Jeannie was a Jim Beam liquor decanter. A U.S. Poet Laureate wrote for 2 seasons of The Simpsons. There's an airline out of Madrid called Spanish Fly. Martha Stewart has a metal plate in her head that she made herself. Robert Downey Jr.'s goatee is insured by State Farm. The San Diego Zoo's WGASA monorail was an acronym for Who Gives a Shit Anyway? Yawns are contagious to adults, but not to children under 4. Here is your score. For the final round, all the facts will be about one category. That category is Pop-Tart flavors. Figure out which of these unusual flavors are or have been real Pop-Tart flavors, and which ones we just made up. French toast. Biscuits and gravy. Frosted ice cream sandwich. Wedding cake. Cotton candy. Vanilla Dippin' Dots. Watermelon. And here's your final score. It's time for another game of Lie Swatter. You're going to see 7 crazy facts pulled from the following fact categories. An episode of Star Trek had Captain Kirk trapped on a planet of jazz. Cortez landed in Mexico thinking it was in Japan. Crocodiles are more closely related to birds than to snakes or lizards. High heels were invented by a man with no legs. Parts of Titanic were filmed aboard a Carnival cruise ship. The Dogs Playing Poker painting is reenacted by real dogs in Iowa every year for charity. Cleopatra was Greek. And here's your score at the end of round 1. Here are your new fact categories. In a deleted scene in High Plains Drifter, John Wayne kissed Clint Eastwood. Bowling balls were originally made out of wood. The Volkswagen Beetle was Hitler's idea. The average height of an Amsterdam resident is 6'4". Yale's Skull and Bones Society was sued for stealing the skeletal remains of Geronimo. Rocky Mountain oysters are deep-fried bison brains. All alpacas are born with a twin. Here is your score. For the final round, all the facts will be about one category. That category is foods that poison dogs. See if you know which of these foods are poisonous to dogs. Avocados. blueberries. Popcorn. Cottage cheese. Raisins. Sugar-free gum. Watermelons. And here's your final score. Guten Tag, and welcome to Swatter, the massive true or false trivia game. We can accommodate a huge number of players in a game, so find as many people to play as possible. Alright then, before we get started, don't forget, new players can go to this website and enter this room code to join the game at any time. Let's go! You're going to see 7 crazy facts pulled from the following fact categories. Frog skin grafts are used to treat burn victims. AT&T was sued by an adult film company using the same initials in 1982. The Texas hook 'em horns salute means impotent in sign language. Use your device to pick whether you think the fact is true or a lie. Dexter's Michael C. Hall proposed to Jennifer Carpenter in the middle of a torture scene. Craigslist prohibits the sale of llamas and alpacas. Pizza-flavored Jelly Belly candies were later released as barf flavor. The inventor of the Slinky joined a South American cult. And here's your score at the end of round 1. Here are your next 7 fact categories. Two lifeboats on every Carnival cruise ship are equipped with hot air balloon rigs. The screenplay for You Only Live Twice was written by Roald Dahl. Atari started out as a manufacturer of lawnmowers. Paris Hilton sued Hallmark over a card that used her trademark phrase, "That's hot." Gene Hackman auditioned to be the voice of the yellow M&M. There was a promotional turkey-flavored Kool-Aid sold on Thanksgiving. The Satanic Church of America donates $10 million annually to Habitat for Humanity. Here is your score. For the final round, all the facts will be about one category. That category is square roots. Yes, we are going to do square roots now. Some are true and some are lies. Good luck and Godspeed. The square root of 813 is dog. The square root of 7,569 is 87. The square root of 999,009 is 999. The square root of 1,800 is 911. The square root of 555 is 24. There is no square root of 0. The square root of 443,556 is 666. And here's your final score. It's time for another game of Lie Swatter. You're going to see 7 crazy facts pulled from these fact categories. Dolphins were trained by the Soviet Union to go on kamikaze military missions. There's a deleted scene in Star Wars that shows Luke playing pinball. Brad Pitt hurt his Achilles tendon while playing Achilles in Troy. Mickey Mantle wore a gun while in the outfield. Pig stomachs are not used for human transplant because they can't digest pork. Kobe Bryant hired Banksy to paint the Old Spice logo on his bathroom wall. Llamas spit to regulate body temperature. And here's your score at the end of round 1. Here are your new fact categories. Jay Leno owns more pinball machines than cars. Gerber recently sold veal baby food. Nintendo owns more underground tunnels in Tokyo than the Japanese government. The movie Brave didn't have a theatrical release in Scotland. In 2008, the King of Norway knighted a penguin. Drained cantaloupes were used as balls in the first ever basketball game. In one day, a brain generates enough electricity to power a small city. Here is your score. For the final round, all the facts will be about one category. That category is technical terms. Try to guess which of these facts about technical terms are true and which are lies. The plastic around a dry-cleaned shirt is called a condomly. The cardboard sleeve around cups of coffee is a zarf. The plastic tips on shoelaces are called aglets. The clip on a Sharpie is called a grap. The plastic holder in a pizza box is called a jambal. The floating ball in a toilet is called a crap melon. The dot over an I is called a tittle. And here's your final score.